magic. The first kind of black magic is sihr al-tafriq, which is called as magic of separation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned about this magic in Surah 2 in Ayah 102, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that two angels, Harut and Marut, came to the city of Babylon to teach black magic. But before they taught black magic, they say that we are nothing but a trial, so don't get into kufr. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned about a magic to separate husband and wife. So this magic still exists today, and this is the greatest accomplishment for the shayateen and for the jinn to separate husband from his wife. And in a hadith, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that shayateen, the jinn from all over the world, they go to the head jinn, the chief shaitan, and they give the report of what they did all the day. One shaitan says that he separated two brothers. He said, okay, that's fine. One shaitan says that I created a fitna, a trial, and the chief says that's fine. But when a shaitan says that I created a fitna which resulted in a divorce between husband and wife, then the chief gives his seat and gives his crown. So this is the greatest accomplishment for the shayateen, for the jinn, to separate husband and wife. So how to recognize if a person is under the influence of sihr al-tafriq? The first symptom is there will be a sudden change in the attitude from love to hate. A person is normal and regular toward his wife, but all of a sudden his attitude begins to change all of a sudden. And then there will be a great deal of suspicion between husband and wife, and there will be no acceptance of excuses. I mean, if wife presents excuses, husband will never accept it. And if husband presents excuses, then wife will never accept it. And there will be exaggeration in the causes of disputes. For example, there was no salt in the food, and the husband said that there was no salt in the food, and this is nothing but a tribal issue, but this insignificant issue becomes exaggerated and it results in a great dispute. And there will be the change in the mental image or the mental picture of both the spouses. Another major kind of black magic is sihr al-muhabba, that is magic of love. Some of the symptoms are excessive love and passion. Usually the boys who want to spoil girls sexually, they go to black magicians and they get a package kind of thing. I mean, 6-month package for 15,000, some kind of package the black magicians present. So they buy that package and they do all sorts of evil stuff on that. I mean, the material or something they give to burn outside the house of the girl, and no sooner the boy burns it and no sooner the girl passes over it, she becomes a victim, and the boy spoils her sexually. And the same happens if the girl wants to sexually exploit the boy. Usually the wives who are insecure about their husbands, and usually the wives who feel that their husbands may fall into any trap of any woman that in that case they go to the black magicians to get this magic done. That is sihr al-muhabba. So there will be excessive love and passion between the two parties, and there will be extreme desire to have sexual intercourse, extreme desire, unconditional desire to have sexual intercourse. And there will be impatience of remaining without having sexual intercourse, and extreme lust at the side of the other party, extreme lust and blind obedience. So these are some of the symptoms of sihr al-muhabba. Another kind of black magic is sihr al-takhil, that is false appearance of the objects. Especially the victims who are under the influence of this magic, they see the fixed objects moving. I mean, they see the fixed object. For example, jug. I see the jug being static, but if the person is under the influence of sihr al-takhil, he sees this jug moving from one direction to other. And at the same time, he would see the small objects appearing large. For example, this jug appears to me a huge drum. So the person who is under the influence of this magic sees small objects large. And he sees false appearance of ropes as snakes and stationary objects as animals. So he usually sees the stationary objects as animals or the beasts of prey, like tiger or lion or dog or hyena or python or a snake or cobra or any such animal, especially the beasts of prey, especially the animals, wild animals he sees in his house. Another kind of black magic is sihr al-junoon, that is the magic of lunacy. Is usually performed on the person to make him mad and lunatic. The symptoms are severe absent-mindedness and forgetfulness. Severe absent-mindedness and forgetfulness, confused speech, bulging of eyes and deviation of sight, restlessness, inability to do a task regularly. So usually the people affected with sihr al-junoon cannot do their tasks regularly and disinterest in one's appearance. So these are some of the symptoms of sihr al-junoon. Another kind of black magic is sihr al-khumun, that is the magic to make a person lethargic. The symptoms are the person loves seclusion. He doesn't want to mingle up with anyone. He loves to be secluded and he loves to be alone, absolute introversion and constant silence and anti-sociability, absent-mindedness, frequent headaches and quietness and constant lethargy. So these are the symptoms of sihr al-khumun. Another kind of black magic is sihr al-hawatif, that is a person sees bad dreams and hears voices from nowhere, and the symptoms are experiencing nightmares, and in dreams he sees that someone is calling him and he hears voices while awake but cannot see. He's seated and someone calls him, shh, shh, and he turns and no one's there. So he hears voices while awake but cannot see, and constant waswas, that is whispering, and suspicion about friends and relatives, and victim sees himself as falling from high place in the dreams, and victim sees himself as being chased by the beasts and the beasts of prey in the dreams. So these are the symptoms of sihr al-hawatif, bad dreams and hearing voices. Another kind of black magic is sihr al-marad, or the magic of illness, and it's usually done on the person to make him constantly ill. So the jinn occupy the place in the brain, and it plays with the nervous system, which is responsible for the functioning of the body parts. So there will be constant pain in one part of the body, and there will be epilepsy and paralysis of one area of the patient's body, and total paralysis and disability in one of the sense of organs. So these are the symptoms of sihr al-marad. Another kind of black magic is sihr al-nazif, that is bleeding following menses. Usually it's done on women. So the women affected with this magic, this kind of black magic, they constantly bleed. So they stay in that state of impurity. So usually the jinn kicks the body, kicks the part which is responsible for bleeding. So inshallah we'll see the treatment of this magic inshallah in the second stage of the treatment. Another kind of black magic which is done to impede the marriage, that is called a sihr of impeding marriage. So some of the symptoms are make the victim uncomfortable about the proposal. So for example, the victim is boy, so whatever proposal he gets, he rejects it. So he gets uncomfortable about any proposal. If the victim is girl, then she becomes uncomfortable about any kind of proposal and make the victim look ugly to the other part. And occasional headaches, severe tightness in the chest between asr and midnight, and absent-mindedness, anxiety during sleep, occasional constant stomach aches, and pain in the lower back. So these are the symptoms of sihr of impeding marriage. Another kind of black magic which is called as sihr al-rabt, that is a kind of magic performed on men who get erection problems during lovemaking. So some of the symptoms are the spouse looks old and ugly to the victim. The spouse looks old and ugly to the victim. And the person stays medically fit at non-lovemaking occasions, but erection problem during intercourse. And he occasionally gets headaches and severe tightness in the chest between asr and midnight, and absent-mindedness, anxiety during sleep, and pain in the lower back. So these are the symptoms of sihr al-rabt. So these were some of the kinds of black magic, major kinds of black magic.